Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell, our Sunday morning call-in for this Sunday, July 19th, 2026. This is number 207 in the series of call-ins, and we're simply calling this one Weight Games with Familiar Names. Yeah, you know, because we got to, listen, before we get started, let Stormy get on the scale, huh? I got to step on the scale and let y'all know what my, working weight is at the moment. I believe it's about 257 pounds, you know what I'm saying? And that's without breakfast. Yeah. So, hey, what's your scale, huh? What you reading this morning, huh? The familiar names is out here because we got weight police out here, according to the brother Devin the Dream, huh? We got weight police out here, you guys. So you got to watch what you're doing, huh? You may not be able to get that, middle seat on the airplane. Yeah, you may not be able to get that window seat on the bus or the train, huh? So you got to be careful, man. You got to mind the scales. Yeah. Uh-huh. Leave it to the shitty one to be out here causing these issues, huh? Even making the old diehards from the sport come back and start talking, man. These guys are kind of mad. You know what I mean? They're like, what's wrong with this dude? I told y'all when I started calling him Shitty Cuz several years ago, people was like, haha, that's funny or whatever. But now you see, the name sticks, don't it? And not only does it stick, it fits, huh? Yeah. So that's where we be at. It is what it is, huh? And you can't do nothing about it because he ain't gonna do nothing about it. He gonna be who he gonna be. You know what I mean? And that's all it is to it. That's all. He gonna be who he gonna be, man. And it's unfortunate because boxing is like, listen, all we want to do is just see the best fight the best. But these guys, man, what they doing, man? What they doing, huh? I don't know, man. I don't know. But hey, when we out here and we trying to cover the sport and everything. Oh, I forgot. I did mention Devin, didn't I?
Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be.
Yeah. So welcome this Sunday morning, man. I hope all of you guys are doing well. Woke up with your right frame of mind, because as you can see, I didn't, and I'm out here just running rampant in the boxing streets, causing problems and everything. But what? It ain't no different than what they doing, huh? So I might as well go with the flow. Yeah. You know? We simulcasting on both YT and Rumble this morning. Got you guys out here. For those that are on YT, let's see who we got in the building this morning. We got Joe Gagliardi out there saying salute Stormy. Good fights last night. Growing with Soul back with us saying top of the AM Sensei. Jay Vonnie is back saying blessings. Mac of the South saying salute to the Grand Master. We live and exclusive, yes sir. The beautiful Tay Brown in the building, the real queen of MMA. And Combat Talk says good morning Seafood, good morning chat. Yeah, my brother Junior the Truth is out there, huh? He says we in here top of the day, chat. Yes, sir. Over on Rumble, we got Coach Hudson in the building. LPRN. Bernard is out there as well saying good morning, Sensei. Hello, chat. The weight police, he says, is cracking him up. And he says, Sensei, testosterone weight police. Yes, there you go. You know it, huh? And it's a doggone shame that we got another category where when we talk about, you know, the male species and testosterone, now we got the she-male species where we talk about zestosterone. Yeah. So listen, we're going to cover all bases, huh? There's going to be some mad folks out there, but don't give a darn, because, hey, when you're mad, you got to scratch your Speedos and get glad, huh? That's all it is. That's all it is, man. So welcome to Answering the Bell, you guys. It's the morning call in. And we ain't going to waste a lot of time with this. You know, we're going to open the lines up early because people got stuff to say. I see y'all in here early, so it must be somebody that got things to say about all this foolishness, huh? We're coming out of a fight weekend where we had some Pro Box TV matches, and we also had the return of the man with the Will Smith called and he want his ears back, Diego Pacheco, huh? Super middleweight that don't want to get in there with guys his own size. Another one of those Jack and the Beanstalks out there that don't want to get in there with the tiny Tims that can really do something. You know what I'm saying? So all of this is real fantasy-like mess. We done hit a little patch in boxing where I guess some of those super stupendous fights like Dubois and Wardley earlier in the year has scared these guys. You know what I mean? It's like they saw that and they was like, oh, that's what we gotta do in there. Let me find what hey honey, let me put your skirt on. Yeah. Huh? Listen, man. We ain't taking no prisoners, huh? We ain't taking no prisoners. We gonna get them all together out there. That's right. Even the zesty ones, huh? Because they ain't gonna do nothing but get rinsed down the drain them and all of their suds. And get you some antibacterial cleaning solvents, to make sure that you clean that drain real good when they out of here. Yeah. So what's good, man? It's Sunday, man. It's Sunday morning. We're going to open up them call-in lines. And I know we got Coach B. Hudson out there, man. I know he might want to call in and say something, man. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's see. We got K_ out there. What's good with you, bro? Welcome down. Van Howder in the building this morning saying, morning, Stormy. Good morning to you all, man. I'm in a good mood, even though I possibly shouldn't be, but I am, because, hey, I'm here. I woke up. Yeah. And I gave acknowledgement and praise. That's right. So, the lines is open, man. Let me hear what you got to say about boxing, man. Oh, and did I dare mention that we got coming up later this week, your boy, Tyson, the cocaine fiend, Fury, taking on Marius Watch. Why? I don't know. And then the next day, we got your boy, AJ, coming back for the 1000th time. Yeah. Let's see who we got. Okay, we got 804 calling in the building. That's the brother KG. What's happening with you, man? Good morning to you. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind, brother?
What's going on, Stormy? What's going on?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, babe. Hey, you real upbeat, man. I appreciate it, man. You sound good. I want to appreciate you for coming over to the US6 open mic lounge the other night.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, because you come over, you know what I'm saying. You see, we played us put the spin on the food items, but you know it's boxing over there. So you know, what I'm saying, you came over, yeah, and it's always a good time when you come over because it gets educational at the same time. So I appreciate you for that. But
thank you, bro.
Let's talk about last night, because I was talking about I got a phone call early this morning about the main event last night with Pacheco and Elaine. And I got the phone call because it's close to home. You know what I'm saying? Because I've trained with, you know what I'm saying, Coach Omar Aline and, you know what I'm saying, his son Emmanuel and Moshe. You know what I'm saying? His grandson Najee, that's pretty much the face of USA heavyweight boxing right now. So, like, I've been around the family, but at the same time, it's like dealing with content creation and being a fan and knowing people, you still got to find a way to separate yourself from it all to say, you know what, I got to be able to look at it for what it is.
Right.
And I love Coach Omar, you know what I'm saying, Stormy, and I say that, you know what I'm saying, as a preface, you know what I'm saying, because I do, you know what I'm saying, because I know the man, you know what I'm saying, I've been in both his gyms, but at the same time, some coaches, they're more so motivational and not like coaches. And I saw that last night. And you look across the other side of the ring and you saw how smooth and how much fun Buddy McGirt was having.
Yeah.
It's like, man, Emmanuel, he's a tough guy. But you don't have to be tough all the time. And that shouldn't be the first thing that you be labeled as when it comes to boxing. Tough.
Smart.
Sometimes you're too tough for your own good.
Left off the table, isn't it? In the
it is.
boxing, because you'll find that the most successful fighters were the ones who were not only crafty, but they had a certain level of intellect that separated them from others, because you know the toughest guy doesn't always win. It's being able to outslick the opponent, outthink him. You know, you could be fast, you could hit hard and be strong, but if I can maneuver you and outthink you, you know, and gain the ups on you, those very so-called strengths of yours can be exploited till they become a weakness when it's challenged in a different manner.
Correct. Uh, but yeah, it's going. I don't even know if this is meant to be a long phone call or if it's just me just wanted to call in just to touch on that because I know how you look at it from, you know what I'm saying, sometimes the same playing field as me as a trainer and looking at it saying, man. And the phone call I got was that the manual should have been saved a little bit sooner. And I don't think, you know what I'm saying, Coach Omar is built on even throwing the flag at any towel at any given time.
Well, this is the thing. I don't know him, speaking about Aleem, I don't know him very well. I've seen him a couple of times. I don't think I've seen him more than 3 times, maybe 4. But in boxing, especially at the level that they were competing last night, if what you do normally and do well doesn't work, you have to be prepared to try something different. And that begins in the gym with teaching and everything. It doesn't start on fight night just because you fought a guy who's 6'4" and got a 77-inch reach. Doesn't mean like, oh man, now I'm here, I got to figure this out. You're supposed to be so-called in training camp. When you signed to fight that guy, you were supposed to have people that can put together the game plan for you to do these things and come out successful. And when that doesn't transpire, guess who it falls on? Just as you were saying that McGirt had displayed that he was not only in an element where he was comfortable with his charge, but he felt pretty good about things because what he was telling, the instructions he was giving, and what he was asking of his charge, at least the young man was out there attempting it or implementing it and was having success with it. Which, of course, that makes McGirt feel much better. But as I've stated about him, meaning Buddy McGirt, myself, is definitely a great boxer, fighter in his era that competed at the highest of levels. As great as his skill set would be, he was able to fight up to that and on par with others. However, as a coach and trainer, though he is pretty good by U.S. standards, might be great by European standards, but he still has loopholes that I can see, and maybe you can see them too, because being a coach yourself, it's like, and those are the things that if Aleem's coaches were on the par and level that they needed to be on, they could have turned that into a different type of matchup last night.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it. And that's unfortunate because Aleem is game. Do you know that being game, or let me ask you, KG, because, you know, being a coach yourself and everything, what percentage of being game is it for a fighter? If you got a fighter who's game, what percentage do you give him being game?
Can't say percentage wise or whatever, but I know you're in the fight. I know I can actually, you know what I'm saying, work with you because you're actually game. You want to actually show up and give me. You're gonna give me.
So let me help you out with that. Where I was hoping that you would say, and you pretty much said it without giving a percentage. If you got a guy that's game, that's 50%.
Yeah.
50. Now, if he has ability, that's another 25. Now, guess what? The last 25 can be a combination or an assortment of others that can make you a complete fighter. Because the hardest part of it is being game. Because I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of guys who won't sign up to get punched in the face for a living.
No,
They'll
they
be
won't.
tough in their words and tough in the streets and all of that kind of stuff. But to lace them up and to get in there, get a busted nose and a swollen eye and busted mouth, and it's not a lot of people that are willing to just willingly sign up for that.
Hey, Stormy, you don't need all that. Those guys, you hit them hard enough, they just and they done.
Exactly.
Those
Exactly, brother. So it's like, so imagine putting another 25% on top of that. That's 75. And then with those intangibles that we speak of, that really comes down to who's coaching you.
Yeah.
Because they can accentuate your strengths. They can help shore up your weaknesses and teach you a little bit of something else in between. You see, that's simple mathematics. Michael Jordan, when he played professional basketball, coming out of North Carolina, I think he said he majored in geography.
I don't even know what Mike went to school for.
I think he said he majored in geography, if I'm not mistaken. But geography, the lay of the land, landscape, and all of that, that's interesting. Yeah. But where he really became adept was in numbers. Do you know that Jordan had a science to how he scored his points? And he broke it down in an interview once, very long time ago. It might be out there on YouTube still. But he talked about if he's shooting 30 to 45% from the field, each quarter, he's going to put up a certain amount of shots. If his shots are dropping on the night, that's great for his average. But if his shots are not dropping on the night, he knows that he could take the ball to the basket and draw fouls. So that's going to put him on the free throw line. So if he's averaging 4 free throws per quarter, how many points is that if he's shooting at least 80% from the free throw line? 4 quarters. And you go to the free throw line 4 to 5 times. That's 20 points right there. Or somewhere between 16 to 20 points. Because there are nights he's going to hit all those free throws. And there are nights that he might miss 1 or 2. So you're talking about 16 to 18 points from the free throw line. And that's without him scoring his regular baskets.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
And that's him feeling the groove. I need to get to this line to get myself sparked.
There you go.
To get going. Yeah.
And then when his shots start falling, that's when you started adding up the additional 20 points. Because you get in that group, and then next you know, that average 32 points a game, there you go. You understand? But he said this in an interview. He had been in the league about 9 or 10 years when he conducted that interview. So the way he broke that down, I thought about it when I heard him say it. I was like, that is so interesting that this man has taken the numbers of the game and made it beneficial and work for him. So isn't that what a boxing coach is supposed to do?
Yeah.
You got to take it by the numbers, and you begin to work a guy around in this regard, and then you could look at where his shortcomings are and all of that, but also know the limitations of his coach. You got to apply those sciences because they factor, and when pressure builds, because I'm going to tell you something, Pacheco in his performance last night, he boxed very well, but
I was supposed to hear that, but
he wasn't comfortable. And I think the discomfort may have been because he was with a new trainer and McGirt over Benavidez. Benavidez had him fighting more of that rugged get in the trenches type deal. Buddy was asking him to, use range and distance and establish the jab more.
Mm.
And it worked well against Aleem because of the size, height, reach advantage that Pacheco had.
Yeah.
But imagine if Aleem used that gameness that he had and wanted to fight with his head on Pacheco's chest.
That's what I figured the game plan was, but it was being misread on their end that Pacheco was tired. And I was like, no, he's not tired. But it's more so what you just said. I think he was uncomfortable because of the transition.
Yeah.
I don't think he wasn't tired at all. But Aleem was reading it as that, tell my son that he's tired. He's tired. I'm like, oh, he's not tired. Don't tell him that. But he needs to get, like you said, he needs to get it as close as possible to his chest.
Yeah.
Because that overhand was finding a home at one point in time.
Yeah. And there were a couple of left hooks in there too that were like, they were clean, but they didn't have enough leverage on them and everything to really make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take a guy who wants to be at it, and this is one of the most simple evaluations that I had in boxing, KG and chat. The old adage is, if a guy is a boxer, you make him fight.
Yep.
If a guy is a fighter, you make him box, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How much of that do you see in today's boxing? You don't see a lot of it. You see guys complying with, okay, we're going to do this. Okay, we'll do that. You very seldom do you see someone try to change up the rhythm of what's going on to suit them. We saw it with the youthful Abdullah Mason a couple weeks ago, where he was in a situation where it was like not going to go well for him if he didn't change it up a little bit.
Yep, he had to.
And by him doing that, he was able to gain some success that then took Bell out of his comfort zone. And once you took Bell out of his comfort zone, it's pretty much over, because he can't be that guy to be more diverse. He has to stay within the framework of what he does best. And outside of that, kind of try to tie you up, slow you down like that or whatever, involve the ref and stuff. But see, there's limitations on that. But a guy who could be a little bit more diverse, he could mix it up at times. He could go back to boxing at times. He could get a little roughhouse at times. That's the young Mason. He can do all of that. And the reason that he can is because he's not only been well coached and prepared, but he got a whole host of brothers. Brothers fight all the time. So we know he can scrap. You know what I'm saying? We know he can scrap. But
look.
Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, look, and I was very Stormy. Look, I say the same thing about the opponents of Shitty Cuz. I was like, I know we don't, you know what I'm saying, like the movements of him, how he move outside the ring, but inside the ring, I blame his opponents more so than anything, because I'm like, ain't y'all job to make him do something different? So I'm like, a lot of these dudes, they get in there, they may throw 1,000 punches, they might try to roughhouse, but I'm like, if it ain't working, I'm like, why are we mad at him? I'm not mad at him for them just doing it. I know it is boring, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To certain people's eyes or whatever, but I look at it, I'm like, you know what? That's mental strength in my opinion, because if I'm able to do the same thing for 36 minutes and the opponent can't make me do nothing different, I blame the opponent. So yeah, what are y'all working on in the gym also? So like, so it ties a lot into that with everybody on both sides. Why are you not making the adjustment? This guy's plucking you with a jab. Get your head out of the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it's like this. Say you standing in front of the other guy and he cracks you with a shot. Boom. And you're like, damn, that hurt. Then he hit you with another one. Boom. And you're like, man, but you ain't moving your head. So he like, in his mind is like, if that sucker don't move his head, I'm going to keep this punch on him, right? Yep. That's what he's supposed to do. But if you become the guy, you get hit with that first one, and you say, man, I ain't getting hit with that no more. And you see him flinch like you gonna move, right? Now he gotta think a little more, right? But you already thought, because you're getting that head off that line now. Do you see how simple this is? It's like arithmetic, but basic arithmetic. It requires you to think about what you're doing. And it is incumbent upon your coach and trainer to remind you of these damn things.
Yep, talk you off that ledge. Yep.
Why do you think sometimes I go in on them, the coaches and trainers? Because I'm like, you guys are not, you're not earning the money that you're paid. And coaches are paid a nice percentage. But it's like, my goodness, you're a dog shit when you're out there with a guy. And like I said, having a game guy, you don't know how important that is, to have a game guy, because that means he's going to always be in it, because he's just got a will to take it and to try to do something or whatever. Just imagine building on top of that and giving a guy something more. Because if you giving him something positive and he goes out to execute it and he's successful, he's going to feel more confident in what you're telling him. And he's going to be more reacting to, I can't wait till coach shows me something else. You see what I'm saying? And that's how it is. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about boxing or if you're talking about elementary school. It's the same principles. Teaching, mentoring, and coaching are along those lines. It's imperative that people understand this. That's why the greatest education that a child is supposed to receive is coming from the nest. And if they're coming from the nest empty-handed, that's a poor environment of parenting where they're coming from. It shouldn't be the world teaching them everything.
No, it shouldn't.
They should gain the basics at home.
Yep. The basics, and then the details of what they've been taught outside of the house. So when they come in, let me know what you learned outside so I can tie it together for you.
There you go.
Yep. That's the way that works. Look, you were saying game opponents. I mean, a game fighter, and then we ran the numbers. Now, we do all those numbers, but we reverse it. And we had our guy on the other side. And I talked to, I got Ronnie Shields about that, but about the guy that wasn't game, but had the skills. You know what I'm saying? And that was a good conversation. I wish you was there for that conversation when I was with Ronnie Shields. And we talked about David.
I had a great chance to speak with Ronnie a couple of years ago on Drew's show. He was a guest on Drew's show. And
no. I'm saying I was in we was at the hotel, and I wish you were there in person with me. Yeah, we
right. But what I was going to share is that Trick Nolte had set it up where he came on to the Strong House one Sunday evening, and I had a chance to talk with him on there. And they had said after our conversation during that show, they had never seen Ronnie smile like that, because we were having a conversation of boxing. And we were in that coaching zone of conversation between two coaches. And they said he really enjoyed that, speaking with me that evening that we had him on. And I felt good about that, because I never had a chance to meet him in person. But I know that when you're having a conversation on the sport of boxing or the fighters and things like that, when somebody kind of knows what they're talking about, there's no arguing or anything. It's just adding more points to the conversation. It's almost like, I put this chip here, you put that chip there, you put this chip there. You know what I mean? It's like you're just building in the conversation. That's why it's important to understand with coaches, trainers, and mentors that they all supposed to speak the same language. You know what I mean? You might have your own philosophy, specific philosophy, exactly, but you should be receptive to what's happening out there. That's why I speak on those who are so limited, because they haven't crossed that boundary yet to understand that there's so much more, you know. It's just like last night when night before last when you guys had me on, you know, on your show, and we were having that conversation, and me being asked about, you know, like the whole thing about betting on boxing and stuff like that. And remember, I told you about my buddy that had met Tommy Hearns at the fight, and when that fight didn't go how he had hoped and everything, and Tommy put his hand on his shoulder like he's a father figure, and he was like, "Look here, man, watch boxing, love it with all your heart, but keep your money in your pocket." Now that's coming from a multiple world champion fighter, championship. He's a Hall of Famer, has some of the greatest matches you've ever seen in his career, telling you to keep your money in your pocket, and you ain't gonna listen to that? Who's the fool? Do you see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not talking about people who want to gamble on boxing or whatever, because people who want to gamble, they're going to gamble whatever it is, right? You can gamble at checkers. You could gamble at, you know, who can ride their bike the fastest or whatever. But for me, I'm not a gambling man, because I'm always computing equations. And I don't want to be on that end where it hurts me. And as hard as it is for me to make my dollar, I ain't parting with it easy. You understand what I'm saying? You can call me cheap all you want to, but I'll take it.
Check this out. Aside from like the entry fee that we have for, you know what I'm saying, for the fight pool, that's small. You know what I'm saying? It's you know what I'm saying, but it's the game. You know what I'm saying? We going back and forth. Yes, I understand that part. I ain't look. Let's put that to the side. And look, I'm just breaking it down to the point that, you know what I'm saying, we look at it through the lines of the boxing knowledge that everybody's able to share. Because like we're actually talking back and forth in the chat as we're doing it. So it's like, and it's all boxing. So we're like, damn, I didn't know you know that. How did you know that? Where'd that come from? Oh, I don't like how this person look on the scale. Where'd that boom, instant link. So damn, everybody's in the know as to what such and such looks like on the scale. Or like I said, it's just like, so you start finding yourself to doing more and more research. It made me actually pay for the up package on DAZN to actually watch more boxing. You remember the conversations me and you used to have about watching boxing on Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, and don't even know who these people are, but it's damn good fights. So I was like, you know what? And this our fight pool actually made me want to be more engulfed in boxing to start watching more of those fights. So I was like, boom. So I forgot all about the money at one point in time. So when I won, I was like, oh shit, I won.
And just like what you explained there, in that, it didn't take me much of anything but a reminder from our dearly departed brother Kurt Sugar, when he and I spoke. This was many years ago when DAZN had first started out. Kurt and I was having a conversation behind the scenes, and he was saying like, man, these suckers talking about they ain't gonna sign up for DAZN. He was like, I love boxing. He's like, I'm signing up for DAZN. I ain't gonna get behind these guys talking about what they ain't gonna do and be missing out on boxing. He's like, this is the wave of the future, how things gonna go. I'm gonna watch it, right? I said, you know what, Kurt? I said, you're right, man. I was like, because we're not getting it any other kind of way at the present time. So, you know, he and I, we signed up. I forget what year that was. It might have been 2016 or something like that, 2014. I don't remember. But what we did was we came to that point and we started watching those DAZN matches. And next thing you know, it was like we were seeing fights that the other guys weren't seeing, right? And it was like, man, we were talking about them and everything. It was like, this is why we did what we did. You know what I mean? And now here it is a few years later where almost everything is on DAZN, but now it's like you're kind of forced to watch it. But I've been watching it the entire time.
Before,
which is why, like I could say, Man, when I was doing all my premieres and the weekly shows and all of this stuff, I'm talking boxing pretty much 24/7. Remember, we even had the pandemic, right? And there were people who covered the sport, like Michelle Joy Phelps and Radio Raheem and all them guys, when they couldn't talk boxing because the gyms were shut down and everybody was inside. I was still doing my Friday night chop session and I was talking about old fights and everything. I never missed a beat during that time. Never missed a beat. But again, like I said, there are people out here who don't have an appreciation for that. They want to front like they know something about boxing and everything. But when it comes down to it, they really don't. And so therefore, I've shifted my mindset on my presentation now. For those who rock with me and support what I'm doing or whatever, that's wonderful. For those who want to come and learn a little something from what I'm doing or whatever, that's cool. But all that other foolishness, I don't have time for that anymore. That's cut like the scissors cutting the umbilical cord. That's it. I'm done. You know, and that's that's my position now. So, hey, you know, and it's going to be that way. I won't miss it. And it's just a game decision, just like I made the game decision about watching those fights on DAZN years ago. And now we have what we have. I'm watching Zuffa boxing too.
Yep, watching it all.
You got people out here talking about, man, Zuffa killing the sport or whatever. Zuffa ain't killing the sport. If you look at who's killing the sport, it's the same usual suspects, no pun intended, hanging around the sport that you guys have actually allowed them to do certain things. And born of this are people like DAZN, and now you see Zuffa, and they're going to take advantage. Riyadh season, they're going to take advantage where you leave these loopholes because your buying dollar is what tells them what to give you.
Let me ask you something, Stormy. With everybody, you know what I'm saying, being under the zone umbrella right now, does that kind of indirectly force them to put on the fights for the people now because everybody has the same network now? So you can't say, oh, I don't have no network, or where is it going to be seen, or what's going on. Y'all are like almost like metaphorically under the same roof now. Y'all got to walk past the same water cooler every morning.
Yeah, in a way, yes. But what it also does is it opens up the playing field for those fighters that you ordinarily may not be able to lay eyes upon. You see, because they could tell you all day long that Moses Atuma is a star, but with only 14 fights under his belt, and you got other guys out there like Adji Cabiel, you got Frank Sanchez, and guys like that, Efe Ajagba, who've been out there that they haven't pushed in front of the public. And you put these guys in matches and you find like, oh, shoot, where this guy come from? Oh, he's good. You know, he can knock people. You see what I'm saying? It's like it changes the landscape. Stars are always going to rise. But what's going to take a real back seat and also be done away with are the pretenders.
Of course.
And Zuffa is showing that almost every single card. Do you know that they have upset on each one of their cards? And it's like, that's why when I was talking to you guys on your show, and I was saying like, whatever's coming up next weekend with Joshua's fight and Fury's fight or whatever, and at some point there's going to be an upset because these guys are being forced to do some things that ordinarily they remember. The whole point, like Fury is still doing it. He's fighting Marius Wash. Marius Wash is rated like number 286 out of 1,600 heavyweights. So AJ is fighting Pringa, who's ranked,
Christian Pringa,
who's ranked like 34.
35.
35. Yeah.
I just looked it up this morning. Yeah, 35.
So when you think about that, it's like that's a huge closing of a gap. You know what I mean? So Fury, with the old school thinking of how they were doing things, he's still getting away with it somewhat.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be a damn surprise and shock to the world if Wash beat him?
If he shows up game that night.
Yeah. Do you understand? Because what it would do is it'll open up a financial windfall opportunity for Wash in his next fight. Even though he's got 13 losses on his record, he even lost to the last guy that Fury fought, Makhmadov. But
got to show up game.
Just imagine if he beats Fury, because Fury, without his goodie bag, is definitely chinny. You can put him on the canvas.
I've always said that, and I've said that about a certain weight. I said if he come in below a certain weight, I said you guaranteed to drop him.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
So it's like this all becomes a different kind of a thing now with what you asked, and the promoters who have a whole stable of certain fighters at a weight class, like Frank Warren, pretty much got all the heavyweights.
All the heavyweights, yeah.
Right, but he's going to be forced to make the fights. So having all the chips don't make you the player.
No, I don't.
Until you start putting them chips in the game. That's what. But see, also it's going to force you to really recognize talent now. Recognizing talent. I remember when Mike Tyson was running around talking about, I'm the baddest man on the planet. No man can defeat me. I used to work with a guy. We worked in the shop working on cars. And he said, there's a dude somewhere in the gym right now beating on the bag. There's hearing this guy say this, and he going to show his ass something. Watch one day. And that turned out to be Buster Douglas.
Yeah.
And you know what the funny part about that was? Buster had been in there with some tough fighters. And going through tough fights, it defines you. It's like some you win, some you lose, but you're game. And again, there's that comment again. If you're game, you got a chance. Well, a lot of the guys that Tyson was in with before Buster Douglas, a lot of them weren't game.
No.
A lot of them were not. Buster Douglas beat Oliver McCall. Do you know that Mike Tyson would not fight Oliver McCall? He was presented to Tyson several times.
Didn't they have some rough sparring sessions?
They had rough sparring sessions, and that's when Tyson really decided that he wouldn't fight Oliver. Because Oliver McCall was crazy, bro. He was crazy. He was one of them numbskulls. You could hit him with a 2x4, and he'll still keep coming. He's just that guy. Buster Douglas beat him. And guess what? If I'm not mistaken, when he beat Buster Douglas, guess what Buster's weight was?
What?
246.
But what did he come in against Mike? Because he looked like he was in the best shape of his life that night.
He was 231 when he came in against Mike, and he was 246 when he came in against Holyfield. So what I'm trying to tell you is, with Buster, it wasn't about his weight. He could box. Had one of the best jobs outside of Larry Holmes. But the thing is, he was having domestic problems with his dad over his career, because his dad was guiding his career early on. And in the Tony Tucker fight, he shut down mentally on his dad, because his dad, they had a fight going into the match with Tucker in the locker room. And his dad was, giving him some stuff. So he was actually winning the fight against Tony Tucker. And then in that 10th round, he just stopped fighting and laid up against the ropes. And Mills Lane stepped in and stopped the fight, but he wasn't hurt. He wasn't knocked down, wasn't knocked out. He almost knocked Tucker down with a jab right-hand combo that made Tucker's legs do a funny dance and everything. But Buster was always right there in the mix. And it's funny because most people didn't give him credit. I remember Georgie Benton and Lou Duval, when Holyfield was training to fight him, they were talking about you gotta box this guy, Evander. They told him, you know, and you got to counter everything he does. You got to counter it. That's why if you go back and watch the fight, Holyfield back then had very fast hands. And when Buster would throw something, Holyfield would come back with 3 or 4 punches. He wouldn't let Buster get into a rhythm. And Buster psychologically was like, I ain't got it tonight. But it wasn't that. It was just going to be harder than what he thought, because he thought Holyfield was going to stand there and slug with him.
No, he fighting them bursts.
Yeah.
2-3 punch bursts, yeah.
So that's the thing. But see, as a coach and trainer, when you recognize these things, you see it and you file it in your data bank, and you be like, okay, this is what can happen. That's why I said about Aleem getting in Pacheco's chest last night would have been a greater option for him than standing outside trying to pick a moment to jump in with something and everything. You know, you get in his chest and you stay there till the ref pull you away or whatever, or you make him try to tie you up. But even when guys try to tie you up on the inside, there's certain things that you could do. It's one of the reasons why Buddy McGirt was telling Pacheco to keep his arms close to his body.
Exactly.
So Aleem couldn't get in there like that. But there was some other tactics Aleem could have did, but his trainers didn't have him prepared to do those things. So do you see how it comes all the way around, KG, to talk about strategies and everything, and to be able to take other fights and fighters and put them in to really authenticate the point that you try to make.
Exactly. And look, those punches that you were talking about, those are the I always get this wrong. What are the 3 dots at the end of a sentence that you can add there? And but whatever that is, that's what this is. If Aleem was and Buddy McGirt was telling Pacheco to keep his arms close to his body, it was because Aleem was still throwing short, compact punches in the inside that can get to the solar plexus, get to the insides of the arms and everything that can potentially open them up. If I can flail the guy with the longer reach arms open, I can steal body shots. Now I can start closing the distance and doing what Coach Stormy just said, get to the damn inside and put my head on his chest. Aleem was doing some of that on his own, but if the damn coach ain't putting emphasis on it in the corner to say, hey, all right, now that you're doing this, that's good that you're doing this, now we need to add this to it. I didn't see any commas and tell you to say, hey, now do this. That's what I was like, damn, you just motivating in the corner, telling them to apply pressure and be strong and throw more punches. I'm like, that's not gonna do it. I gotta tell my fighter how to get to that point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I said,
that's the difference between Mike Dicker and Bill Belichick. You understand? Because Mike Dicker was that rah-rah inspirational coach, motivate you to run through a wall. And Bill Belichick was thinking about, well, you're a quarterback. If he can't get rid of the ball off a 3-step drop, all I need to do is put that pressure on him. When he get to that 3rd step, he gonna throw an interception or something. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He done got more cerebral about what you're doing. When Dicker was thinking from a physical standpoint, he's thinking from a cerebral standpoint, and the cerebral standpoint gonna beat you every time.
Yep. And Buddy McGirt didn't want him. He's told his damn fighter, I'm telling you to do this because I don't want him to be able to open you up.
Yeah.
Because that's what keep your body, put arms close to your body, because this is what this guy's looking to do. He's already able to steal this jab to the body every so often. Don't get this man the opportunity to throw hooks to them and hit your elbow and open you up, to flail you open and catch more of your body. So, man, yeah, it all makes sense once you all put it together. But you know what I'm saying, a lot of people they're not going to take the time to understand that.
Yeah.
And maybe it ain't their job. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's for guys like you and I to explain it to them when they want to hear it.
And also, infighting on the inside is not about you always standing directly in front of a guy.
No, it's not.
You know how to step your foot around to give an angle where he loses you, but he's in your sights. You see, that's where the hard work is. And it's not about being physical. It's about being mobile. It's being able to know your angles.
Yep.
It's one of the things that Custody Amato taught Mike Tyson to do. Mike Tyson was not a great infighter, but he knew the angles of when he got within a certain distance of you, where he could be more effective with certain shots. That's why he get in, he bob weave and slip over. And when you throw a certain shot, he would shift his body position and knew the counters to throw off of the shots that you let go because he's in close to you. You know what I mean? And because he had fast hands himself, he was a strong puncher, but he wasn't a devastating puncher like a George Foreman. So he could step in, give that angle, and pop, pop, pop. You know, and most people don't even realize that when Tyson used to get his knockouts, they came off of concussive combination punches. It didn't come from one shot. He could knock a guy down with one shot, but when do you ever remember him hitting a guy with one shot and the guy was on the canvas and went to sleep?
No, it was something that started it, that continued it, and then finished it.
There you go. When you see George hit someone, they go on the canvas, they go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a difference.
Especially when he he catches you them dead to rights. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah,
look,
I got a couple of go ahead.
I was gonna say it was another young kid that fought last night. I think it might have been on the Misfits card. I think he might be matched from the kid Leo Atang. Did you see him?
The heavyweight.
Yeah, the young kid, 19 years old.
He fought last night. I didn't see him, so I'm gonna have to go back on DAZN and watch it.
He like I'm not putting no early stamp on him or anything like that, but based off of, you know what I'm saying, what they had in front of him, this kid he was putting his punches together pretty good. And then at the end of the fight, I was like, damn, he's not punchy like Moses, because Moses sounds punchy to me. And this kid, he didn't sound punchy. He's actually able to, you know what I'm saying, formulate and actually be in the conversation. And based off of the way he was putting his punches together, I'm like, yeah, I said, okay, we got another young guy, Leo.
That's interesting that you say that about Moses being punchy. I'm gonna say something about that. I just want to acknowledge a couple of Rumble rants I got here. We got EJ up there with a Rumble rant. He says, my favorite day of the week, answering the bell with Stormybman. Who's the next sucker getting that F+? Pro Box have a phenomenal card, and shout out to the final boss, Rumble, Zuffa, and Pro Box. Heavyweight. Appreciate that, EJ. And the brother Drew Titan LLC out there with a Rumble rant saying, passing the plate. Appreciate you, Drew. Salute to you guys this morning. Yeah, what I was going to say about Moses, that's another thing where, you know, in the gym that he fights out of, they've been having wars, and he been getting hit clean. Allegedly, he's been dropped in the gym. They don't want to talk about that too much because he's the next hopeful. So they don't want to say that about him right now. But if he's getting hit in the gym, he'll get hit in the fight. All he got to do is be fighting somebody who's going to punch back. You understand? Yeah. And if he is being hit, and it is, his speech is slowing up and everything, because remember, sparring is 2-3 times a week. Sometimes with some idiots is even more.
Yeah.
So it's like
hard sparring. They clubbing you.
And that doesn't equate because remember, there's a guy in his camp, and you got that Ben Davison over there. They're not the sharpest knives in the drawer, even though they come across that they think that they know what they're doing and everything. I actually rate Don Charles a lot higher than Ben Davison, but for whatever reason, Davison is getting all of this credit for being a boxing guru or whatever. And then you got Shane McGuigan, Barry McGuigan's son over there, who's a good coach as well, but he kind of skips over the teaching part as far as not getting hit. You see, because if you're teaching a guy to go after people and get it, that's fine. If he's a great, aggressive, offensive fighter, but he still has to develop the skill set of not catching stuff in return too quickly.
Exactly.
Because in a match, you will get hit, but the objective is not to get too hit too clean, too often, and things of that nature. And there's a subtlety to that, and there's not enough of the old school teachers around to teach the nuances of that. See, because you could have a fitness trainer that becomes a boxing coach and all of this stuff and hitting those pads. I told you, and I've said it a million times, the pads, I can coach and train without those things.
Oh yeah, most
because
definitely.
It's just like Bruce Lee said about swimming on dry land. It's like, what good is teaching you the strokes and you ain't in the water, huh? So who the hell is going to stand up there and let you run off a rhythmic 14-punch combination that you was working in the gym on pads, where the coach held them at a certain height and everything and distance? Hit here, now throw this one, now throw that one. Who gonna be in the ring fighting you like that? Nobody.
Shoulder shake.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's another reason why. And think about it like this, KG. You probably may not have thought this, but then again, you being a coach, you probably have. But it's another reason why guys don't throw punches in fights, because they be too scared that they ain't gonna land. But they don't know what a probing punch is. They don't know how to set a shot up. They don't know, but they always talking about how they gonna knock somebody out.
Exactly.
Knockouts have to be set up. You don't just go up there and hit somebody upside the head and they go, "Oh, I heard," and I'm gonna lay down. It don't happen like that.
You just stand right here. Put your face right here. Hey, Stormy, you remember the age old way of trying to identify a trainer? They was like, yeah, any old guy throw a towel over his shoulder and call himself a trainer.
And a toothpick in his mouth.
Yeah, the toothpick in his mouth. Now we've evolved to a coach that can do mid drills. He's a boxing coach now. You ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying? That guy's educated. I mean, he's elevated. The guy that had the towel over his shoulder and toothpick, now he knows how to do mid drills. So now he's an official boxing coach now because he knows how to do mid drills. I'm like, no. Did
you see Devin Haney this week on those clips that they showed him hitting that bag?
Yeah.
Listen. That's that big bag too.
That's the big. Yeah. Now I like those. Yeah, because you can whip a lot of them punches off onto that.
And not only that, but it builds your strength. Because if you swing in that bag, if you hit a person who is, especially at his weight, the guys ain't that damn big. You know what I'm saying? Nah. So you're gonna get some results out of landing those shots. Well, to see that kind of stuff is pretty gratifying, because remember a couple months ago, we saw him working with James Toney. And James Toney was a guy that really believed in sparring a lot. I don't necessarily agree with that, but James Toney was definitely one of the chief game fighters of his era. So being in the gym with James, I'm sure he picked up some jewels from James. You know what I'm saying?
As you should, yeah. As you should, yeah.
And that's what Devin does. But these other guys on platforms talking and doing interviews and saying all this stuff, where's their work? Where's the work they putting in? Interesting.
You gotta be willing to like when the whole term of mixed martial arts came about, I was like maybe like 1999. I was in Japan when I heard. I'm like, because people heard that I was in doing Muay Thai and I did Okinawan Kempo, but then they knew I'd always dealt with boxing. And somebody was like, "Yeah, you're a mixed martial artist." I was like, "What is that?" You know what I'm saying? But then I started thinking about Bruce Lee, how, you know what I'm saying, he adapted, you know what I'm saying, with everything that he learned and compiled it into a hybrid. So I was like, damn, you might be right. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing with boxers. Don't be afraid to move around. Go to different gyms.
Right. But let me add to that. Let me add to that what you said, because I don't want there to be any confusion, especially when you talk about Bruce, because, I got an extensive background on information on Bruce Lee, but I wanted to say this. It is so convenient for people to speak of Bruce having studied various aspects of the fighting arts and combining it. But they missed the principle of what his philosophy was. He said, take that which is useful, apply it, and make it your own, and discard what's useless. Because there are aspects of the combative arts where you can take certain philosophical principles of execution and apply them, but there are others where they are not needed, or they can make you more vulnerable, or they're ineffective. And see, it's interesting to know that. That's why when we talk about a boxer fighting, a boxer boxing a slugger, and a slugger, imposing himself on a boxer, and how you have to do the opposite for whom you're facing, but you have to have the ability to be flexible enough to make the adjustments. And when you're incapable of making the adjustments, you can be put in a little box, a container, and then a person can use that ineffectiveness of yours against you, and
Yep.
they never come out of their sweat zone, because
they don't have to.
They don't have to. Yeah. And see, that's very important as well. That's why to have the basics are very essential, to be able to use the jab, but not just, oh, I'm scoring with my jab, look at me go. No, the jab has a multifaceted usage. You to be able to judge distance, to be able to score, to be able to disrupt timing, to be able to open,
create traffic. Create traffic.
Yeah, open, certain follow-up punches by punching the jab to certain areas, and then to be able to ward off what might be coming, and then to be able to rest with your jab. See, a lot of fighters of today, they don't even realize. You get a little winded, you get to help that second wind come along. The jab can be used to be able to rest yourself. But you don't know these things if you haven't been taught, and it hasn't been presented to you in a manner that, okay, this is how you use it for this particular, strategic means. Many people don't understand how that works.
Well, they don't have the mental fortitude to stay with it. That plays a huge role in boxing. Can you stick with what you think's not working, but it is working? Because a fighter thinks something's not working in their mind, and the whole time your coach is telling you, if the coach can actually keep you off that ledge, bro, this is working. Stick to what what you're doing. It's going to pay off in 2 to 3 more rounds. You gotta have that. But a lot of guys, they get under those lights, the oohs and the ahs, and they land a punch and they don't hear that ooh and ah. Some guys are psychological. It's not working.
Do you remember the fight? You remember the fight between Miguel Cotto and Floyd Mayweather, when Cotto in the second half of that fight had finally started building his confidence in using his jab against Floyd, and Floyd was frustrated as all hell because he couldn't do anything off of Cotto's jab, because it was an off-rhythm jab. In other words, he wasn't just shooting it and shooting it. He was waiting a few moments and moving and then put it out there, and Floyd couldn't catch the timing of it. And Floyd's nose was bleeding really bad, and he was like, it was a couple times when Cotto hit him like boom, boom, and stepped over, and Floyd was like, damn, he was like, I can't get this sucker. And see, it's that type of thing that we're talking about. When Larry Holmes fought Ken Norton is another great example, because Ken Norton had a smothering, swarming type style, because he was a big man, 6'3", damn near 6'4", an 80-inch reach. And Norton could stand in front of you, and even if you're moving away, he could hit you because his arms were so long. And when Ali, who was a master of movement, but didn't have that type of punching power to keep you really off of him, but he had precise punching where he could hit you on the button. Ali struggled with Ken Norton because his fluid, mobile style, and Norton would always disrupt his rhythmic timing. But with Larry Holmes, Larry was a master of that jab, and that jab kept Holmes in that fight with Norton in a way that it couldn't keep with Ali, you know? And Larry Holmes was able to, he moved a little bit, but it was that jab, man. And that jab, and Ken Norton, you notice they never talked about fighting a rematch because Norton realized as much as he gave trouble to Ali, Holmes gave him that trouble in that fight where they fought. That's why I would tell people, if I was ever going to teach a fighter boxing, I would show him film of Larry over Ali, because Ali had athletic gifts that the common guy just don't have, you know? And Larry was more like a prototype boxer. And then even though he didn't have a great big punching power right hand, he could throw that right hand with precision and snap. That was kind of a lot like how Evander Holyfield would do years later. But Larry was a quintessential boxer, man. And, you know, and definitely a guy who was game. You know what I'm saying? So you put that talent on top of being game, it's like damn near that gameness be 50%. Well, with Larry, you added his talent on there, that might have been another 50% within itself, you know? So it's those kind of things. But I love talking about this because it really resonates to give people an understanding that this is what boxing is all about. It's not about, and how did I point out a moment ago, for all that pad work that these guys do, why they ain't throwing punches in the ring?
Exactly.
Because they can't see they can't see where the punches are. You have to make openings for the punches. I can hit you on your shoulder with a 1-2, boom, and like, oh well, at least it was my shoulder and not my chin. And then I hit you a couple more times with a jab, and then I hit you again with that 1-2 on the shoulder, boom, and you hit me on my shoulder. Now I got you thinking about that. The next time I throw that 1-2, it's on your chin, and you be knocked out. Right?
You know the saying, damn Stormy, if I can touch you, I can hit you. If I can hit you, I can hurt you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking to touch you right now. I'm gonna put a pin in that. I might come back to that maybe 2 or 3 series later. Remember I told you I'm a big fan of like when even with the mid drills, I'm a big fan of, if we run a combo, we run it in reverse. Because we're gonna find a pocket to them, you know what I'm saying, to do it in reverse. Because some fighters are dyslexic. Sometimes you got to teach them in reverse.
Yep.
So, like I said, so anybody listening, don't get it twisted that the mitts are not beneficial. But I'm just saying, there's too many people using that as their go-to to and say that's their staple as being a boxing coach. And I'm like, that doesn't make you a boxing coach.
Right.
So, yep.
Yeah. So.
But yeah. But you were saying about Holmes. Larry Holmes. Sometimes they say the student surpasses the teacher. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying. We know he took some of some Muhammad Ali's jab, and then of course he took it home and made it his own. You know what I'm saying? Because he had different variations of that jab. I loved it because it was a nasty punch. Because I'm like, sometimes it looked like he was backhanding these guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nasty jab. One of the nasties in the business.
And and he knew how to throw it. It's like different ways. He could stab you with it. He could flick it. He could slap you with it. He could punch you with it. You know, just different ways. And then sometimes
you're supposed
to do something to him, he just stick it out there. Just stick it out there and stop you from doing what you were trying to do.
Yep.
And sometimes that alone, that might cause you, say you're trying to throw a big right hand and he sticks that left jab out there and you hit that elbow or you hit that arm you know,
Mm-hmm.
which is conditioned to take contact because that's what he's worked on. But you not conditioned, you hit that and you get a little twinge in your muscle and stuff. You might get a
Mm-hmm.
torn bicep or whatever, or a sore bicep, because this is what that is. But again,
Yep.
you know, these fighters of today don't understand those things. It's just like Rocky Marciano being such a small statured heavyweight. He had certain areas that he had worked very hard on in punching guys. And if he
Mm-hmm.
hit you enough times in these certain areas, you be so sore and everything, you be looking to protect yourself and you forget to protect that chin. And then he get too close and boom, he landing that shot on your ass now. Because you were
You know
worried
what my
about,
favorite spot was, Stormy? Right there, that crease where the elbow meets with the forearm and the bicep meets.
Yep.
I beat the hell out of that area right there, because and all I need you to do is open your hands.
Yep.
Or you can't raise your hands. I say I wanted, and I say I was dirty in a sense, but I'm like, it was all about pressure points. And I wish I had studied like Kung Fu or Bruce Lee, you know what I'm saying, a lot more, because the whole pressure point aspect. I used to punch to those lot of spots. I used to search for inches to gain a mile. And you know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, why do you? I'm like, because I'm like, it's not all about punching the guy in the face. How can I create it where I can punch him in the face when I want to? I gotta get these hands to come down.
You ever took a shot under the armpit?
Mm-hmm. It's almost like if you hit it right, you can shut down that whole side of the body. It goes numb.
Yeah.
It goes completely numb.
Yeah. It's like, man, those shots like that where you said Marciano, that place between the forearm and the bicep, or
Mm-hmm.
the hip pockets, and
Yep.
you know, so the floating rib, the solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the pit of the stomach,
collarbone.
The pit of the stomach.
Collarbone.
Yep. Man, I watched last night when that kid on Pro Box, Suarez, he knocked that dude out. He hit him with a shot, and dude, he thought about it, and then he went down as a secondary reaction because he got hit right across the forehead with a left hook. But it was like a delayed reaction. You know, these things happen, man. Those, like you say, the vital points, the pressure points, set a person in motion, and they be like, whoa, you know.
I'll beat wrist up, elbows up, shoulders up, inside the solar plexus. Like you said, right across the collarbone, anywhere in that area. Anything on the front side of that ear. And I tell kids, I tell anybody, I said, touch along the side of your jaw. Everybody has a spot in their jaw that doesn't feel like the rest of their jaw. That's the spot that you don't want to get hit. You know what I'm saying? I said, so it'll be who of you to identify it on yourself. So when you know what I'm saying, you know what that feels like if it ever happens. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot going on. Like you said, the windpipe, everything straight down to them, straight all the way down. I'm like I said, dirty in the sense that if it's on the opposite side of the referee, the hip pointers, I can freeze your legs up. Your legs will be frozen. So it's a lot. It's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of aspects of it when it comes to just breaking down a fighter. But like you said, the guys of the day, they don't want to actually go into the science of it. They just like the fact that they know how to throw a punch, either hard or fast, or they know how to not get hit. And they're completely content with just riding with that and not understanding the science and being able to put guys in position when they want to and not just because it just happened. So, but there's a lot with this, man. And then this, like I said this in the beginning, I didn't think this was going to be a long phone call conversation because I always like to leave the door open for any and everybody else to come in and say their piece. And I think I've said my piece, yours, and everybody that might have wanted to pull up.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's why we have the show, man. It's like for us to have a conversation on the sport of boxing. It's like, you know, there's not a lot of people that are doing what we do. But what we do is beneficial for those who want to digest boxing
Mm-hmm.
at its essence. That's what that's about. I can sit up just like,
Yeah.
when I caught you guys and I caught you late because I was watching some other stuff, doing some stuff around the house and everything. And I was like, man, you guys have been on already, but I still showed
Wish
up.
you was there earlier.
I was,
Yeah, but I wish you was there earlier.
yeah, so do I. But
Uh-huh.
I could gain from that for whatever reason, because I am sub to both channels, but
Mm-hmm.
the notification, I didn't get it. It's like, you know, it's like it didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. Look. I pre-prep the show like you do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an upcoming notification, and I get the same thing because sometimes, because I might be watching it from my other phone, and I don't even get a notification myself sometimes. So it's just I don't
yeah,
know.
well,
I
see,
don't know
that's
how.
these
Yeah.
people. That's these people, and they doing these kind of things because they'd
Mm-hmm.
rather send a whole bunch of bull crap to your, preferences and everything. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then you signed up and you're looking for something specific and you don't get it. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then you get these people that try to contact you and like, oh, we can help you grow your brand and this and that. It's like, I
No, I'm
don't want
good.
you to stop sending me those stupid ass messages because you're trying to make money off of what you should be doing anyway. What are you talking
Mm-hmm.
about? You know?
Yep.
So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I appreciate, all of us and what we do. And we had a few more
Mm-hmm.
of the family come into the building. Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. We had Stephen L. the Mac. Uh, uh, I did say to brother Drew Titan. We had Black Martial Arts Society, Jay Vonnie, uh, Donnell Miller, I Am Trill Will, Royal Constrictor, Village Brother. You know, it came in while we're cooking. So
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
yeah,
Shout
so
out to all of them.
if you're gonna step off, then we still got about 25, 35 minutes to go on the show. If somebody else want to call in, they can call in and we can keep it rolling because I enjoy this part of it. That's
Mm-hmm.
the best part of the show is that being able to have the conversation, That's the best part of it.
So look, Friday night we also talked about a fight that I told you I talked to you about if you had the show today. Earl Spence and Tim Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
It's touchy because I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of people they're rating this fight with their heart because
Right.
their boy Earl is back, and I'm like that's cool. That I know you want to do that, and I've never liked the concept of I don't take tune-up fights or uh, comeback fights or anything. You know what I'm saying? However you want to spell it. I've never been a fan of that. You know what I'm saying? I have high hopes for Earl, but at the same time, he looked like he's been in shape this whole time. But you and I both know, Stormy. If you ain't been in that ring getting punched on, we don't know if you're in boxing shape or not. We don't know if you're in get hit shape or not. You might
Right.
be in shape enough to throw punches, but are you in shape to get hit? Especially with a guy like a Tim Zoo that, like I said, it's a pro and a con to it. The pro is he's gonna be right in front of you. The con is he's gonna be right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
And there's
like,
something else to be said too, bro. Check this out.
mm-hmm,
He don't believe in taking tune-up fights, but if your timing and stuff isn't there,
mm-hmm,
that's how you get it by having the tune-up fights.
yeah,
You don't get into the real deal of a fight and then decide all of a sudden in the midst of the fight, like, oh, I can't pull the trigger. I can't do this. I can't do that. It's too late.
too late now. Yeah,
It's too late. So, and that's why you also shouldn't disrespectfully call it a tune-up fight. You say, I'm going to get active and I'm going to fight some fights to stay busy.
yeah,
You tell the boxing public that I'm going to fight 3 or 4 times this year before getting in there with who you might want to see me with.
mm-hmm.
That's understood.
That's understood.
And there's another fighter out there who's guilty of that we have embraced as a brother in the community, and that's Deontay Wilder. You know, you see Fury fighting a guy that's 45 years old and got 13 losses on his record. He ain't trying to fight one of these young stalwarts, but at the same time, that's a fight that he chose to fight. Well, Deontay, he did finally fight a guy like that, before he fought Chisora, but it's like you have to have those kind of matches too, because those matches, those matches help you bridge to where you want to be. You can't skip the development stage. You can't, you don't go from laying down and crawling to getting up running. You get up, you stand, you get your balance and everything. You stumble and trip and fall. Then you learn to take the steps. And then after you get the steps, you get used to the balance. Then once you get used to that balance, you take off running. It's a process. You skip the process, and what's going to happen is you're going to have some issues. And a lot of people they don't understand that. That's just like, do you know where bow-leggedness come from?
Because your parents didn't correct you, as you know, when they seen that it was off, the doctor pointed it out to you, said, look at his legs. We got the boots to correct this, and the parents don't do it, and you walk around and your legs grow bold.
Not all the time, but not all the time. That also comes from them trying to start the baby out walking too soon.
Too soon, yeah.
The bones ain't strong. And the bones
and they bending them out,
thing. Yeah, that's it. Putting him down on his legs, putting him down. It ain't time yet. It ain't time. Stop doing it. What are you doing? You understand?
And that bones are soft, so you're molding them. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
So, there's a lot, but again, when we have conversations like this, it teach people stuff. Now, maybe somebody go out there and make some damn bow-legged babies.
Look, hey, Storm, you hear me? Them bow-legged kids used to be fast as hell, though.
Yeah, because they covering the extra amount of space when they taking them steps. You'd be wondering, like, how'd that happen? It's like, yeah,
But Stormy, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. So I'm gonna give somebody else a chance to call in and talk to you and get some of the happiness that you started the show with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. And don't be no stranger, KG, man. You can call me on the show, but you call my phone too, bro. You got my number, man.
I got your number. Yeah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? And you know me, man. I pop up periodically. I just pop up. Because I'm gonna be straight up with you. I be so tied up with, my daughter that's had ACL surgery, so she's rehabbing right now. And then my youngest daughter, she plays flag football. So I'm tired with that. Then it's work. I'm looking to find another work schedule because I just got offered, to get the keys to work in a boxing gym because of just my mind alone. So I'm like, I'm looking to get out of the hospital where I am now and relocate to another hospital, and hopefully it'll be morning shift hours.
Yeah.
And then, then I can start flowing all the way into boxing like I want to, because the closer I get to 50, I just had a birthday last Friday. So I said, the closer I get to 50, the closer I'm trying to get to being out of the workforce and in a gym like I want to be, and just post up, lay back.
That's right. I know that's right. Yeah.
That's my end goal. It's like, and it sounds boring to a lot of people, but simplicity is the happiest thing, that the most peaceful thing that I've ever found in life. And I'm like, that's all I like now.
Yeah.
Simple, out of the way, away from, the BS, and just being able to just sit back with my shoes off when I want to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just,
yeah. Nothing wrong with that, man. Yep.
Well,
you take it easy, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you too, man. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, if y'all haven't, you know what I'm saying, y'all can hear Stormy when he decides to come, come out the house and come have a few drinks at the lounge. You know what I'm saying? Come over to US 6 Sports and Entertainment Hub. You know what I'm saying? The drinks are usually free, but the menu costs. You know what I'm saying? And Stormy, he comes over there and eats like it's a buffet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Give him an eat on.
Yeah. And I appreciate you for that, man, because like I said, you come over and you pour more into what you know, than you really know. So, you know what I'm saying, with coming and giving the game and giving the knowledge. And that's what it's there for. It's for the people. So appreciate you. And everybody in the chat, shout out to everybody that's listening.
All right. All right. You take it easy, bro. Peace to you.
All right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Great call, man. Great call. Yeah. So lines open still. We have somebody that tried to call while we were cooking early in the conversation. But if they want to call back now, it's okay. We got 518. Who's calling? What's on your mind? Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, how's it going, Story? It's K-Rock on.
Hey, K-Rod, what's happening with you? How you feeling?
Not much. Just got back home doing some groceries. Yeah, like I just wanted to talk about the fight last night with Diego Pacheco and Emmanuel Alim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought like the fight was really good. I think based off of what you said with KG earlier about Diego looking how should I say uncomfortable having to switch trainers. I could definitely see that because compared to the version of him training with Jose Benavidez, right?
Yeah.
That's who he trained with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Diego looked a lot better having to be more like aggressive, but he was actually like using more of his better functional archetypes of trying to throw more punches to be more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I think overall like he boxed really well, but I think he just needs to like cradle it more, and then I think he'll be like a lot stronger heading into the future. So I think I think it's good for Diego to to use his height and reach, so therefore he could be more successful at the world title level. But he shouldn't try to like force himself to like try to learn new things to try to like make himself feel I don't know I guess like off balance with his fighting style, right?
Right. Yeah. Personally, I think that Pacheco, he's going to have to work on two things, and that is defending when punches are coming at him. I don't like his responses like I see the few times that Alim attacked, he was getting clipped with stuff, but not real flush and everything because Alim was having difficulty negotiating the distance because of the reach advantage and the height. But there are other fighters, like let's just use Hamza Shiraz as an example, who is pretty much similar to Pacheco in height and reach. Shiraz better negotiates real estate than Pacheco. And if a guy like Shiraz was in there against him, those shots would be putting him in more of a perilous situation. It's kind of one of those things that you don't see it because you're fighting a guy that's much shorter and stuff like that. And then when you can get those sizes, like he's talking about, he wants to fight Jaime Munguia. Even though Jaime Munguia is 6 feet tall, he's a couple inches taller than that. It'll be a lot different from Alim because Munguia throws the type of shots that can still find their way home. You know, it's just a totally different scenario. But I like the fact that he made a change because he didn't want to be a part of the Benavidez situation anymore. But he's going to have to stick to his guns, no pun intended, about the decision that he made. Because Buddy McGirt can teach him some things, but if you're having setbacks, if you're not doing something as well or whatever, you can't start blaming coaches now. Because remember, you done went from one group to another group, and if you start having issues, it's going to be on you. It ain't going to be on them. See, that's what these young fighters also have to realize. You know, you don't change coaches like you change your underwear, even though it's a lot of people out here don't change their underwear like they need to. That's why you smell them when you go out in public. You be like, don't you smell this? Ass. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So disgusting. Like super degenerate. Like that is super degenerate.
Mm-hmm. That's it. So some people get mad, but I'm telling the truth. You know, the only reason they get mad is because it sounds like I'm talking about them. Because you ain't got to worry about me being mad. He talking about somebody don't wash their ass. Well, I know he ain't talking about me.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, just got out the shower. What are you talking about? What did you think of Cruz's performance last night?
Oh yeah, Andy. Yeah, Andy. He actually did very well. I thought Abraham Montoya. I thought he got stopped a little bit too early. I thought Andy clipped him with a good shot, and you know, he's.
You thought that was early?
Oh really?
You thought it was early? I think the ref saved Montoya right on time, man. Did you see that shot Andy hit him with before the end of the second round? I mean, man.
Yeah, like he clipped him like so bad, and he was like basically stumbling like he was like about to dance to some salsa music.
Yeah, man.
I was laughing so hard. I was like, yo.
And even the referee, that guy, like, Thomas Taylor,
Andy really got all that power.
The referee thought he might have broke his jaw because he called the ref up there before the next round started. He was like, hey, can you look at his jaw? And dude, I guess Montoya didn't speak English very well, but he was like, your jaw okay? And dude was just looking at him. He was like, your jaw is like, he asked the doctor to look at it. The doctor said he was fine. He just got nailed, bro. He got nailed, a damn good shot. Right at the bell, too. It was like the punch went fang, and then the bell went ding.
Yeah. Plus, on top of that, I was thinking Montoya, he was gonna throw like a gigantic power shot back at Andy, but Andy, he basically countered it very beautifully, and that's where Abraham, he got basically clipped real good to the point where he wasn't able to properly respond.
Yeah.
But yeah, Andy, he's getting a lot better, and honestly, I'd like to see the rematch between him and Raymond Murataya, because I think Andy, you know, he
learned something from that first fight. Yep.
Yeah.
See, I shortened it up for you.
Yeah.
He learned something from that first fight, and I'm gonna tell you something. It didn't take place early. It took place in the later portion of that fight. He kind of learned what he needed to do, and he ran out of rounds. I thought that he won the fight by a couple of points. Like someone said yesterday on my live, they said 115 to 113. I could go with that. That's what I thought, that Andy pulled it out. But Murataya, he got the benefit of the judges and everything, but that's definitely a fight I would love to see them run back, because I think he could knock Murataya out. I really believe that. Because you know what it is? It's like he's fighting now with more confidence in setting down on his punches instead of just scoring the shots. Because and the inactivity is like, because he only, how many fights he got now? 16, 15? He don't have a lot of fights.
Andy got like he has like 8 or 9 fights.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's that last night was his 8th fight. So he needs to fight a little bit more frequent. But not as a thing like fight so many fights before he gets a second opportunity against Morataya, because I think if he goes in there against Morataya for a second time in his next fight, Morataya gonna be in trouble. But the thing about it is, I don't think that he has applied himself to fighting more frequently enough, because it's not that he needs the experience. His Olympic and amateur experience shows him to be top notch. He just needs to be in front of the public more with matches.
Mm-hmm.
But he can beat anybody in the division because he's that skilled. And now that he's showing cracking power because he's setting down on shots, man, Cruz is dangerous.
Yeah, he is. Like, there's really nobody there at 135, and I don't think Abdullah Mason is going to stay there. So, like, my prediction as far as like what could happen, I think Abdullah is going to vacate the WBO title, and that Argentinian dude, Alan Chavez, will probably get the title. But if Abdullah doesn't want to vacate, I think him and Alan Chavez are going to fight each other. And Raymond, I don't know if he could possibly get a unification, but maybe if possible. I want to see him and Lamont Roach and William Zepeda winner fight. But the other Cuban fighter, Javier Herrera, he should be in line to be the next fighter to fight for the WBC title. So, like, I'd like to see them, and then just basically see a unification for Undisputed. And then, like, I think Andy Cruz, he should get the rematch with Raymond down the line, or he could fight any of the other champions, like, whoever comes first.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, there's about 3 fights that he could get at lightweight that I wouldn't mind seeing him in there. Put him in there against that Lamont Roach, that Mark Maceo, and a rematch with Morataya, because, those 3 fights right there would do a lot for him. They would do a lot for him. I think he stops Roach. Mark Maceo will be a good fight because Maceo would be trying to go to war with him, and he could probably knock Maceo out by catching him, in exchanges and stuff like that. Because another thing that people don't talk about, he got fast hands too.
Yeah, he does.
His hand speed is pretty good. That punch he dropped old boy with at the end of the round, it was like dude was in the middle of trying to punch with him. And he just nailed him. He just knocked the hell out of him. And I was like, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Andy is a very versatile boxer puncher, and like I really have to probably give him credit to just his fundamental knowledge. Like, he knows when to counter opponents very well when he's ever going to like a war, on the inside. And I like the fact that he likes to like reflex while he's trying to punch with you. So, Andy tries to be very fluid. I just think he just needs to work better off of like not trying to like, basically I guess like load up too much. But overall, like, I think Andy's he's a good complete fighter.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I wanted to say about Diego Pacheco. Do you think Diego could possibly get a belt at at super middleweight, or do you think he's still green? Or
I do think he's still green. And
yeah, same here. Yeah.
And the thing about it is, he was on a very good trajectory. I don't know what happened with him. It's something, because about 3 years ago, I had spoken about him and did a video dedicated to him talking about Diego Pacheco, one to watch. It's in my archives. But I don't know if that was his fight against Caceres, that goes back to 2023. He got a 9th round knockout over Caceres, and I thought he was looking pretty good at that time. You know, a young prospect coming along, thought he was looking good because Caceres went into that fight. He had over 32 wins on his record, and Pacheco was, you know, youthful at that time, but the way he handled it, it was pretty good. Now he followed that up with that Sean McCalman fight, and then that Matt Sulicki fight, which he looked good in those. He stopped Sulicki in 6. But something happened, and it was like, I don't know if it was inactivity or whatever, but the intensity kind of dropped off. Because even if you think about his performance last night, there wasn't a lot of fire in what he was doing. It was kind of like routine. I mean, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm pretty much of the same way. Like I've said it to you pretty much like you know in the past. Like I don't like fighters that try to get matched up very weak, and I think it's important to like upscale your competition higher as you try to get up to the world title level. So therefore you could keep your skills sharper with all the other top guys that are trying to meet you, you know, at the world title level. So I think with Diego's case, you know, I've been saying for like the past like 2 to 3 years, like, hey, I want to see him in there with Edgar Berlanga, or I want to see him in there with Jaime Munguia, or Christian Mbili, or Lester Martinez, or anybody that was coming up at that time. But it just seems like he was just comfortable kind of just taking fights that are basically like I'm not too sure if it's just stylistically favored for him. Like you know, to me personally, like it seems like that he's been facing guys that aren't really like pure boxer punchers. So I will say like as far as the competition, you know, the competition is decent, but why not see him in there with a guy like Caleb Plant, or why not see him in there with a guy like Kevin Newman, or anybody like that? Like I think Diego has a very good shot at taking those guys on. Maybe he could win, but it's like, I mean, look, the only good decent victory that I actually do like is the Mashish Sulecki fight, and you know, like I also like the what's the other fight? I like the Kevin Lee Sajo fight. That's also like a very good fight too. So I mean, he has been tested. It's just like, I think like as of right now, like Diego needs to go all in. Like you know, he can't just, you know, take his foot like you know, off the gas and just basically wait until a opportunity is to be given. Like you know, he should be out here trying to demand all the top names to say, hey, like I want you. Like I think now has to be the time, or else there won't be any progression made for his particular skill set. Because if he doesn't do it now, then everybody will just try to say, oh, well, Diego, he's just green. You know, he was never that good. Like, no, like I want to see him be great, but I want to see him like go up against like all the top guys, like how should I say, developmentally, where he can basically be in there. So therefore he can get that exposure to basically upscale his talents more.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, there's some fighters, you know, when you talk about guys like Osleys Iglesias, Hamza Shiraz, you know,
Yeah.
these are Lester Martinez, some tough fighters, man. Even if you want to talk about Beck the Bully can get in
Beck the
there
Bully.
and rumble. You know, he will force guys. He's like a bigger pit bull, you know.
Yeah, he is.
Because he's not heavy on skill sets, but he's an action guy. And when he hits people, stuff happens, you know. So it's like, I don't know. We need to see some of these guys get in the ring with one another. And I do believe that they are trying their best to keep Pacheco. I don't know. That's Eddie Hearn in Matchroom too. When you talk about him, you know, they're trying to keep him looking sweet, you know, looking good. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
because
we're moving into a stage of where stronger fights are being made, and for some reason, I'm getting this impression that Pacheco ain't trying to be a part of that. It's like he hasn't done anything, hasn't said anything, but it's just like, because like really this move to Buddy McGirt over the, you know, Benavidez family. I mean, the Benavidez family have had success. They've shown that there's some good stuff happening, and that name is like, to be a part of that is a great thing. I'm thinking, unless there was something going on with, you know, I don't know, is some inside they done had like some words or something. I don't know. But he's 25, and the other main guys like Shiraz, I believe Shiraz is like 27. Iglesias might be 28. You know, they're around this time when they should be facing each other. Name that he said conveniently was Jaime Munguia. Now Munguia is 29, but Munguia's got over 40 fights. You know, he almost got 50 fights. And one thing about Munguia, whether you like him or not or whatever, you can't misplace the experience that he has. You know, you can't misplace that.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, on top of that, he's like, you know, he's gotten, you know, like a lot better over time, but he still has like put himself into some good, decent, you know, tough level fights where like you know, where he hasn't been degrading lately.
Right.
Yeah. Plus, I wanted to see Diego fight him, you know, like a long time ago, at least like maybe like 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think like pretty much at the same thing with like how I see top ranked fighters, like anybody who goes over to Matchroom, they pretty much like you know, do the same thing. Just feed most of their premier fighters, you know, like a bunch of low level talent. And then it's a hit or miss if they're going to win up against top tier competition. But it's like you said, like about Eddie Hearn in the past, like you know, he's a very he's not like a very good, like, how to say, like, matchmaker with like how he moves his fighters, but he's always like that type of person to be like very, you know, how should I say, like, mischievous. So like I don't really think of most of like the Matchroom stable to really be like fighters that actually want to like actually like, how should I say, like, fight the best.
Yeah. Yeah, Hearn is real quirky with his matchmaking. It's like he'll put his guys in kind of tougher than he intends to. I don't know what that is, but it's like,
Yeah,
you
get
know,
him.
then you
Yeah,
say,
he's
oh
getting
well,
it.
this guy ain't as good as
He's
advertised, and he'd be like, oh well, you know, he'll talk to you like you made the mistake of what you saw. I'm like, no, I saw your guy getting his ass whooped. That's what I saw. You know what I mean? And it's funny, but that's been Matchroom. That's their reputation. You know, that's why Frank Warren relishes fighting his guys, because Frank is like, oh yeah, he's gonna give us that guy. Oh, we got this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. At least Frank Warren, he's like going all in. Like he's kind of like Samson Lekowitz
Yeah.
in that way. Yeah. Yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah, like I don't like, I don't think a fighter should just be going over to like easy level promotions just to get bums fed, and then pretty much it's just like a hit or miss, like if they actually do good. So it's
Mhm.
like I don't think that's good, for any fighter trying to start out in their career, because honestly that just makes you just get all this falsified confidence, and then like once you get put in there with somebody that's actually going to like knock you out and actually hurt you, it's just basically game over for their whole career. So
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it with that. I just wanted to ask you like one more question about the Errol Spence versus Tim Tszyu fight for next week.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, do you think Errol Spence is pretty much done with his career? Because like I'm not too sure if he's mentally focused with fighting Tim Tszyu, and I'm not too sure if he's going to be performing at the highest particular level. Simply because I know that he said that he came back to say that he wanted to get back into boxing because he still had some sort of level of of a desire, but he said that he's not going to be staying in the sport for too long. So like personally, I just don't know if he's like actually like 100% all in. So do you think that there could be some particular concern heading into the fight with Tim Tszyu?
Yeah, I think there should be concerns. I think that
Yeah.
the fact that he is taking the fight kind of like you know, this is not so big a deal or whatever, being cavalier about it. I believe that it's going to come to pass whether it's really in his favor or not. And if he gets through Tim Tszyu, let's say if he has success in a way that it comes across like, wow, I didn't expect him to fight so well against Tim Tszyu. That's just going to give his ego a little bit more of a thing where he, you know, is deceptive because Tim Tszyu has been in some rough fights too, but he's plugging on. You know what I mean? He's game. Now you heard me and KG speaking about being game earlier. Arrow was game after that bad accident and everything, but whatever happened with him and Bud, he didn't come back right away. And then he didn't, come back for like 3 years. So is it because his ego is hurt because of what the fight, how it worked out? I don't know. But a lot will be told in this fight when they have it next week. And I hope that he can just look decent. And I don't want him to look spectacular. I don't want Tim to look spectacular over him. I want it to be a bit of a struggle between them, and then somebody gets a decision or something. Because the real deal will be, it'll be telling on whoever, if whoever loses lopsided, it's going to be more revealing of why the other person won. Do you understand? There's some questions on both sides, but Tim Tszyu has every right to feel like, oh, this guy disrespecting me because he's been off for 3 years and I've been out here plugging away, blah, blah, blah. It's just a lot to take in. And I'm going to be watching just like everyone else. But if it don't go well for him, you can expect him to walk away. I'll say that. But I'll also attach something to that. It's his fault because he made decisions and chose to live a certain kind of way that things played out like they did. And you have to really be honest with yourself. What did you do to contribute to where you arrived? And you heard him recently mention in that interview that he still was having some situations where he was cutting some corners and stuff like that. So it's like straight from the horse's mouth. But people got mad at Bomac when Bomac said some things about him years ago. Here it is, the man admitted to some of the things that Bomac said were correct. So I'm sorry. It's just, it is what it is. You can be a supporter of somebody that's from your hometown, and you could, all of that. But when people go astray and they're doing things incorrect or whatever, they have to deal with that. They have to have accountability. Look at the Charlos. Charlo missed being on this card due to all the stuff that happened outside the ring and everything. He can't get the visa and all of that. It's like, dude, there are consequences, right? It's like, this is what we've been trying to talk about. I ain't shedding no tears over that because I understand that's a part of life. I got my own situations going on. You know what I mean? And it's like, you have to know that, be a man and be like, okay, this is what it is. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts there, K-Rod in chat.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, like, I agree. I think honestly, like, Errol Spence at this stage of his career, he doesn't really need a box anymore. I would have enjoyed it a lot better, if he just had a last fight, just to say that, he would basically end up retiring 3 years ago, prior to the Terrence Crawford loss. So I would have been fine with that. But I think up against a guy like Tim Tszyu, this can be a coin flip, whether it could go bad for him or it could go bad for Tim. So either way, I hope he comes in he comes in 100% focused and he can perform well. And maybe heading into the future, if he is still game to compete for the world title level, then then I'm fine with it. It's just I don't think Spence really needs to do it at this point, because it's you've already accomplished enough. So it's I just think this isn't really something that he needed to do anyway. This is just more he wasn't too sure if he wanted to get back into boxing, so therefore he's kind of coming in 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Yeah. Well, hey, like I said, it is what it is, man. But I'm gonna have to get on out of here now. My time is up.
Okay.
Appreciate your call, brother. And we will see what's going to happen next week. It's going to be very interesting. Keep our eyes peeled for this.
All righty. I appreciate it, and thank you very much. I'll see you around, Stormy.
All right. Take care.
Yep. Thank you. Bye.
All right. That's the brother K-Rod wrapping up the show. Appreciate he and KG making the show fulfilling with plenty of context to consider and conversation. But we're going to get ready to get on out of here, guys. Stormybman got some stuff to do. I am glad we came out for another Answering the Bell today. We're going to take a moment out, pay some bills, and then we're going to wrap things up. So here we go. Yo, so better get you some of that Stormybman merchandise, man. Get it while it's hot. You know what I'm saying? But thank you everyone that came out, those who contributed to the show with the donations. Thank you so much. We had a second Rumble rant by EJ. He says, "You better wash your musty ass." Yeah. Salute to EJ and the Rumble rant. But I want to thank everybody that came out today. Those who hit the like button on their way in, please hit the like button on the way out if you didn't. And don't, keep it to yourself. Share the content. Share it. And we'll be back with another Answering the Bell. But I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC as we keep things moving and grooving. All right. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Peace to everybody.